Hi guys. So something new to my protocol I am going to try today for a lot of reasons. I will be doing a ketamine therapy under my doctor. It will be very interesting. I have a lot of hope for, again, many reasons. The cancer is just the newest bit of trauma added on to a lot of family history stuff that I just want cleared out. So stay tuned as I post about my experience with this. Wish me luck. Again, I have huge control issues, so the fact that will have zero control is a little unnerving to me. All right, so about to go in. She read something to me which I think is really interesting, to approach this like an archaeologist, like Indiana Jones. So I'm coming into this with a lot of curiosity, asking a lot of why, and I'll update you afterwards. So I am coming out of that ketamine dive, and I've been sober 31 years. I feel drunk. It's a very weird sensation. And some of her notes were how much shit I'm holding in my body. There was a lot of, and then release through it. And she sits with you and she grabbed my hand. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to put into words what I experienced and what it felt like. At one point, I thought I was dying. I literally thought I was dying. And I think I screamed that out. I'm dying. Am I dying? And she said it's a known thing, death before dying, and the death of ego, and some other things she alluded to. But man, what I felt like I took the biggest shit in the world. I know that's a way to articulate it, but I will continue to post more of all necessary ways in helping to let go. You know, there's not one way to do it. There's not one way to heal. Our body is so beautifully designed and unique, and it really does take a team. And if you are staying in one stuck lane to find answers of your best self and well-being, then you might run into a dead end. I am about to leave from my ketamine dive, and I want Dr. Jillian to explain the science behind what happens in the brain with a ketamine dive. For those of you that are curious, I love what she says. We laminate to our trauma, and the ketamine helps undo that. So here is Dr. Jillian. We're just all the sciencey stuff.
Okay, the sciencey stuff. Okay, so there's two things that happen. One is that when you separate from your trauma, it's kind of like unplugging from the default mode network, and you're plugging in underneath to that ocean of consciousness. And so that's one piece, is what happens in the journey. But then afterwards, in the 72 hours afterwards, you've got a greater sense of neuroplasticity. There's a big release of what's called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and that does what's called synaptogenesis. So it allows your brain, you're not growing new neurons, but you're allowing them to connect in novel ways. And so post-ketamine is a great time to make changes in your life. It's a great time to start an exercise program, to start a journaling program, to begin or end a relationship. They're great times to make shifts, because you've got this increased BDNF, which is some of what is thought to be the benefit from some of the antidepressant medications release BDNF over time. But this is a kind of a bigger shot of it within kind of the 72-hour period. So those are the things that we're working with. It's not just what happens while you're in the session, it's also what happens in that time afterwards.
So I got here a little after 9, and it's a little after 1, and I'm just now leaving, and I feel pretty drunk. This is what I felt like when I was drunk, which, you know, I've been sober 31 years, so this is a weird sensation. The next 72 hours, as Jillian mentioned, are where we're most pliable, the neuroplasticity. And if you are trying to heal from anything, my most recent breast cancer, not to mention his family history stuff, any sort of trauma, I recommend reaching out to Jillian and her team and exploring or being curious around it. Anybody abuses anything that is meant to help us be better versions of ourselves. Everybody does. I don't care if it's microdosing, weed, cannabis, it all becomes abused because we're human. But in a very structured, guided situation, if you have tried a lot of different things to free yourself and to clear yourself and to become a little more in tune to who you are and who you're designed to be, and to let go of anchors that are holding you down and not serving you well, I highly recommend it. And I was very scared. I've been on this journey for 3 years being curious around it because I want things to change internally in my life, and the cancer was just what sent me over the edge. It's a wild ride. I know some of you do this shit like normally on as a party drug, and I think you're crazy. I really do, but whatever. But having it with the intention of healing and going a step further towards your better version, I highly recommend it.